Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. We are here with a very special episode. We have a very special friend with us today that many of you, most of you, probably all of you don't know. So you know Stephanie, of course, from Spiritual Perspectives of Our Great Awakening. And our friend Mary is here. And Mary is our off-camera real life friend that Stephanie and I both have. She's an amazing healer, and she's now transitioning into a place in her life where this is going to become like her full-time thing. And I'm telling you guys, like Shanti, like Tamara, like all of these amazing light workers that you've gotten to know on this journey, Mary is right up there with them. And so we wanted to bring her on today so that she can meet all of you guys. How you doing, Mary?
I'm awesome.
How you doing, Stephanie?
I'm great today. I'm a little scatterbrained today, but I'm doing well.
And the truth is, guys, we've actually been on Zoom for about an hour now before we hit record, because we were just having some girl time, shooting the breeze, you know, little girl time. So anyway, what you do is Reiki. Can you explain to the audience a little bit about Reiki and what that is?
Reiki is just a quantum, like spiritual healing. It's something that I've had my whole life, but I did not know what it was called. And I have a really good friend who taught Reiki. So I took her class probably about 7-8 years ago, became certified level 1, 2, and Reiki master. And it took me a little while to get going. Life's journeys kind of set it back a bit, as we say. So it took a good 6 years for me to get where I am now today. But it's basically spiritual work. You know, you're tapping into your spirit guides, you're tapping into your higher self, their higher self with permission. You're quantum entangling with them, you know, to do the healing and seeing what they actually need for their body. And you can do a past life. You can see what they need in their past life that they carry to this life and try to do your best to clear it. So it's a big spiritual connection. It really is.
Now, Mary's worked on me before, and we're not in the same state. I'm sure you guys can tell our accents are different. But like a lot of great light workers, you don't even have to be in the same room, do you, Mary?
No, not at all.
She worked with Stephanie too, yeah?
Yes.
Now, we can talk about my healing, because I think it's so fascinating, and things you did for me, I don't mind. But you pulled something out of my heart center. What did you pull out of my heart?
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember, Bryce. There was so much.
It was a dagger.
It was thank you. It was a two-edged athame, two-edged sword. It's a ceremonial tool. You know, it can be used in good and it can be used for bad. In her situation, it was actually a bad thing. So it had to be taken out.
And it was connected to a lot of the stuff that everybody knows I've been going through, right?
Exactly.
So there was something, and actually I felt it when she pulled it out. Like it's kind of like, even though this is all energetic body, this is all not, you know, obviously I wasn't walking around with an actual physical 3D dagger through me. I would have seen that. This is all spiritual stuff. But when she pulled it out, it's almost like when you like scrape your knee or you pull a splinter out of your finger. Once you remove it, the body still has to then go and heal itself. And I could feel it. And like, I could feel my whole chest start to like recalibrate after that was pulled out of me. You said it only been in there for like, what, 4 or 5 months or something?
Yes, I would say around November, December of last year.
That makes sense.
Yep, that's what I got. And so I'm glad it wasn't in there very long, you know, because I think you'd feel a lot more level of emotion when that was removed. It's a relief.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. It felt like a release in my shoulders and my chest once that was pulled out. Yes. And it's interesting because it was like sacrificial. Like, and we know that that's what a lot of, and this is not like, we're not saying this to scare anybody, but we are in a point in our timeline where all of us are engaged in this battle, and it really is spiritual. For me, it has manifested as physical, as many of you guys have seen the physical manifestation of some of the pictures I've shown on Twitter, on the video of my dog freaking out of something in the house with me. So it has turned very physical with me. But I mean, and you also pulled something out of my head too, right? Like goo? Was it goo or something?
There was, right. You have a pineal gland in the front, and then there's an adrenal gland and your medulla oblongata in the back. It was mainly your pineal gland. So I envision you as a hologram. So I have to see that, and it actually shows me the goo. Sorry if my cat comes in, she's meowing here, but it shows me the goo, and I actually had to like take my hand and go in gently and scoop it out, and then I put it in the violet flame in Saint Germain a few times, and actually had to go in and clear through your crown chakra to open up your channeling.
Yeah.
So I know you said you felt that.
Yeah, that was recent. That was really recent for me, because I the last few months, my telepathy has really picked up with people, like big time. And we know that there's still work being done to try to stop certain things. And I had gotten blocked from being able to channel, like I couldn't channel anymore. So I knew something had been done. And then Mary saw that in my hologram, and she removed it. And the minute you removed it, I started getting all these messages again.
Right.
So it was wild. It was like when you refresh your email and all these emails come like coming right back into your inbox, Yeah. So even so, even in extreme cases, like I think, what I've been through is kind of an extreme case, but for other people too, there could just be blocks, right? Like it doesn't necessarily have to be from a nefarious source. It's just something in your system that needs to be like worked on. Correct?
Oh, absolutely. It could be a past life issue that you carried in from multiple past lives, because we all have more than one past life. It can also be the programming when you were born by parents, family, friends, whatever, whether it's good or bad. In my situation, I had a lot of negative downloading from them. So you carry that with you, and it takes a lot to get it out, and I did not understand the pains I had, but once I actually understood the pains in my body and why I have them, and then had them cleared by other healers for me, it was awesome. You feel such a relief, and you can have a range of emotions where you're flying off the walls or where you're crying your head off, and that can carry on for a week or two, even a little longer, but it can go up to a week or two.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something I will say too. And I've done Reiki before many times, and it never shocks it. It always shocks me. Like after someone works on you, I was in the bed the rest of the day when you worked on me, because we did like noon on Saturday, and then I zoomed with you later, both you later. I was still in the bed because I looked like I'd been hit by a Mack truck, but it was a good thing. It was because so much had been like removed, so much had been worked on, that my body, body, mind, spirit had to recalibrate, had to like take that time to kind of put itself back together. And Stephanie, you've been worked on too. Do you want to share some of your experiences?
Sure. So, Mary had texted me when she was about to go ahead and start working on me. So I laid myself down. I was very much led to put crystals on me. So I had selenite on me. I had lapis lazuli. I had some obsidian, some tourmaline, amethyst, and howlite, and just a bunch of other things. And I was just led to put them in different areas where the chakras were. And then I held in my two hands rose crystals and rose quartz crystals. And I don't know if I was doing it right, but I was being led to do it. And it was interesting because where she was working on, I could actually feel or see where she was working. So when she was working on my heart center, my heart chakra, and my eyes were closed, and I could see yellow, blue flashing, yellow, blue. And I knew it was with my heartbeat because I could feel my heartbeat. And then she did a lot in my root chakra area with my uterine area. So she had pulled out of me a black rod and a little bit of a circular black stone of some kind. And you put that, you said, in the violet flame.
Right.
And when she worked on me, I actually started to, I actually felt it. Like I literally physically felt it. So energy healing is real.
Yes.
And, I felt everything, nothing like necessarily hurt, but it's like you could tell you were working on a certain area just by how I felt. There was either a release, or it's like, I don't want to go too graphic, but like with the whole uterine area, it's like, I did feel kind of crampy, not to get, graphic or anything like that. I think we can all handle that, but, I knew it, but it wasn't a bad thing. Like, it's a releasing of. So,
right.
And then I remember when you worked on my pineal, I felt it vibrating. So literally I could feel it. And I made sure I had a specific stone on my forehead. I had a feeling I intuitively knew you were going to work on my pineal. And I intuitively knew to put a certain stone there. Actually, you had given me that stone. I forgot what it was called, the green one.
Oh, preonite.
and you said that's super highly psychic. And I put that on my third eye area, and I could feel that it was doing something while you were working on that. And then afterward, I did feel exhausted, but at the same time, it was like a good exhaustion.
Yes. We Zoomed after that, and you both were in your rooms. I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? It was nice because you looked refreshed and relaxed. So that was the best part, you know.
And I had a lot of visions too during this whole thing as well.
And sometimes you do. You really do. And sometimes, like when I get healings, I see a lot of colors. Sometimes I have visions.
Yeah.
But I get visions when I do the healing. It's like I could see like the cosmos with you when I was doing your third eye. That's why I asked you, what did you see? And I didn't want to say what I saw before until I heard you, and then that confirmed it. So yeah.
I saw a lot of water. One vision that stands out is I was on a beach and I was like wading in the water up to my knees, and it was someplace tropical, but it wasn't like the earth we see now. It was definitely 4D, 5D earth. And I had dolphins swim up to me with sea turtles. And I know those have a very symbolic meaning behind them. It wasn't literally, I was seeing the animals, there was symbology behind it. And dolphins is one of my spirit animals, so that made a lot of sense to me anyhow. So yeah, it was quite remarkable, and it felt very, very real. And there was a lot of healing that came with that. So
yes, and I was really happy about that.
A lot of things, Mary, you picked up with me were things that other healers have picked up before. And it was interesting because I felt a lot of sensation on my left hip. But I'll tell you something, Mary, because you were like, well, I worked really heavily on your right side. And the interesting thing is, years before, when I was getting Reiki done in India, I thought I was having all these issues with the left side of my body. The left side of the body was always giving me problems. My left hip was always giving me problems. But I remember the healer saying then, no, the issue is your right side of your body. Your left side is overcompensating because something's going on with the right side of your body. And that's what you said too. Even though I could feel it on the left side, it was the work was happening in the right. So a lot of the things that, and Mary didn't know that. She didn't know I had gone to a healer in India and they had said that to me. I shared that with her afterwards. And so it was just so fascinating to see how all these different healers who don't even know each other are picking up on the same things in everybody's different stories in their bodies, because your body is your minefield. Your body is that's the whole point, as I say with yoga, the yoga chitta vritti nirodha. The body, the chitta, is not just the brain, it's the body too. It's because the body is the minefield, what your thoughts. And I love how you said that, Mary, like when people have been like programmed either by their parents or by a religion, at one point the person doing the programming stops and you take over. So you continue that programming. So some of this bondage that we find our energetic body in are really placed on us by us, and it doesn't have to be like, it's not like every single person is being annihilated by black magic or demons. Most of the time, I think it really is just us doing it to ourselves.
It is.
It's another tool to help break those patterns, So what's the wildest story you can think of, Mary, of your experience, either with yourself or with an unnamed person, we won't say their names, or with just a client?
As far as healing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's been a while. You got to think back. Well, it wasn't a really wild story. It was just one I just got today. That was the nicest one. The lady I worked on was a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and she has major hip issues, and she has such a hard time walking. And I just tapped into her, and I kind of found out she had past life issues that it carried on into this life. Mm-hmm. So then I said, you know what, we're going to go in and find out what age, where this was. So you can kind of ask, where does this apply, and just go in and send her healing and fix the issue. I like when I do it in person, I just kind of ask, well, what does she need here? Maybe not everybody does it this way like I do it. I do what works for me. Mm-hmm. So I just ask, what does she need at this time? What is this past life, pre-birth, birth, this life? But I got past life, and I found out what her hip issue was. She got injured as a child in her past life, and it was brutal. So she carried it into this life. So I just sent healing, and I seen it straighten out and healed. And she said she walked for 4 days, and I went. And she just sent that to me. So she wants another healing. I said, I'll be happy to do that, because sometimes you need more than one session to clear this out. And sometimes you can't, because you're meant to go through this in this lifetime, but we can help make it easier. You know, we can make it tolerable.
Yeah.
So it's not always a cure all. You can't say, oh, I didn't get healed, but then you're not meant to. Do you know what I mean? And that's some of the wild stories I get, is that people are like, you know, they're so skeptical until you actually lay them down. And when they see what they see, they're like, oh, you know, I had one person actually freak out because they didn't believe it until they actually felt it and saw it for themselves. And I said, but it was a good thing. But, you know, it was an ex of mine, and he kind of freaked out, and he never came back because he's got that programming of, you know, the church. So,
which is funny. What was Jesus doing? What was Joshua doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he was a healer.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's the laying of hands. It's and you know, a lot of, like, Shanti says this a lot. You know, when we do have pains and things in our life, it's a teachable moment as well. And so when you're working through with someone who is an energetic healer, they're going to be able to guide you better on that path of what is this bondage here to teach me. What is, then maybe a medical professional will be able to do, because they're looking at the body from a strictly scientific point of view, a very matter, nature, all that kind of stuff. Whereas as spiritual people, we see it a little bit more complex than that. You know, the body only does what the mind tells it to do. Literally, the body only does what the mind tells it to do. And so, you know, my teacher's teacher, Guruji, used to say, like, body not stiff, mind stiff, body not stiff, mind stiff. You know, it's all about getting into that consciousness first. And the energetic body is part of the consciousness. Yes. Now, sometimes you can receive attacks. Obviously, I have, you know, and at that point, Mary was able to actually, and you had Michael help you remove that dagger, right?
Oh, yes. Because I don't just do it. This is not me. This is your guides and your angels. All of I call them in to assist, because I'm the conduit. You know, I'm not going to take no credit for this one. It's divine, because we shouldn't take credit. That's the gift they gave me. They said, we're working through you. So yeah, definitely. They come in and work through me to give this to whomever needs this. But I've always known this since I was young. I've always known that, you know, I don't take the full credit, because that's arrogance to me. And I don't mean to offend anybody, and I'm very sorry if I do. But it's not you. You're the vessel they're working through, but you were chosen to do it.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I've known this for a long time. I mean, I've known this before I even knew what I was doing, when I would help innocent little animals or little birds, you know, and heal them. And I never knew what I was doing. And now it makes sense. Yeah. So, but yeah, and I don't want to discredit any doctors and have them upset, but sometimes you have to have a spiritual healing. Yeah. You know,
in the world, we should have both, right? We should have both.
Yes.
The medical with the spiritual. There should be emergence of that. Right. It's interesting because a lot of I just watched, there's this tarot card reader that Stephanie I really like, because she's like,
oh, she's funny.
Her name's Candy. What's it all love? I'll place a link to her channel down below.
Eternal love. Hold on. It's oh, you sent it to me. It's oh my God.
Well, her name is Candy, I think, but she's so funny because she'll be like, Holy Spirit, and then she's like, "Ooh, you guys will have some good sex." Like, she's just
she's great. She's wonderful.
Guys,
all eternal love tarot.
Yeah, I'll place a link in the description box. She's like a twin flame specialist. Anyway, I was watching one of her videos today, and she was like, Holy Spirit, I'm sorry if you have kids in the car, cover their ears right now. She goes, oh, he wants to lick it like a lollipop. And I like died laughing. I just died laughing. I said,
get along with us.
Do what?
She'd get along with us.
Oh my God. Lick it like a lollipop. Anyway, but she was even saying in one of the episodes I was watching today that, you know, that you should always, you know, that the reader, the healer, are just, it's God. It's all God. It's not them. And you should always have discernment, because they are just vessels. And we know the Dream Clairvoyant is another one that we love, that is always talking about how you don't worship me, you worship God. You know, I am just a conduit for the message that the Most High has for you. He's just using my vocal cords, but it's literally about the Most High. And I think that the fact that Mary, you say that, like, I'm just a conduit, is amazing, because that shows how trustworthy and there's integrity in your work, because you are allowing the realm of the divine to step in and use you in the way that you're able to, because we all have It's Catherine Edwards and I have spoken about this before. Not everybody has the same gifts. If we all have the same gifts, there would be no point in life, right? We all have different abilities and different gifts. And you found yours, Mary, which is amazing because some people don't ever find, they don't know what theirs is. So we all have a gift. And yours
it took me
for sure.
Oh yeah, it took me a while to get here because I kept self-sabotaging myself. So I kept shutting myself down and then having 2 relationships that sabotaged me, and I believed it, So it took me, and then finally when I got away from those, it took me this long, 6 years from the last one to now to get where I am today. Yeah. Because I finally put my foot down and said, I've had it. Yeah. The Spirit literally kicked my ass in the shower. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I just talked about licking something like a lollipop. It's fine. It's the same.
Well, that's one thing about me. I'm not afraid to drop the F-bombs, people. I'm totally, what you see is what you get.
Most spiritual people drop the most F-bombs I'm learning, so.
But they literally kicked my ass in the shower and they said, stop being in your fear. And they literally said it as loud as they could in my ear. So now, guess what? Stop being in your fear. Get out of your fear and trust. Yeah. You've got to have that faith and let it go. And here I am.
Yep. So here is false evidence appearing real.
Yes. And I'm not going to take the credit because I know it's not me. I'm the vessel, but I was chosen to be this vessel. Just like psychic mediums are chosen to be psychic mediums. I do have the ability as well, but I use it with my work. Yeah. Okay. I don't go out and give readings. So that's not what I do. And if I have to use other things, I do for my healing. So
yeah. Well, speaking of readings, though, Stephanie, you're going to be putting Mary on your website, correct?
Yes. So I'm going to be adding Mary's information to my website. We're going to kind of partner up a little bit because I've personally had work done from you, Mary. So I trust your work and want to help support what you're doing. So I'm going to be posting her information on my website at some point this week where you can email her. She's going to be doing bookings the same way I do my bookings. And we're also going to collaborate and make a package as well if you want a tarot reading in addition with a Reiki session for a discounted price when you bundle it all together. So we're still working out the details on that. More to come on that, but at least I will be putting in there the email address to reach her at. And she has set up, you set up a Venmo, is that correct, Mary?
I have Venmo, and yes, absolutely. I can.
Okay.
I want to Zoom them. The people I meet, I like to Zoom them face to face. And then during the session, I don't Zoom. I will Zoom them afterward to talk about it.
So that's where you would set up an appointment time. You can explain too how what they need to do in order for a session. Like they can't just be driving or anything. So I'll let you kind of talk about that now.
On that. So I'm glad that you brought that up, Stephanie.
Yes, because that's not a good idea to be driving or at work because it is a spiritual work and I'm quantum entangling with you and you're going to feel it. But you got to be sitting down and stable, even laying down. So it has to be a time when you're not driving out and about. You have to be home.
Yeah. So I laid down because I knew because I've had Reiki before. So I knew, and I definitely laid down on my bed. I have this quilt that was my grandmother's old quilt. So I put it over me while Mary worked. My grandmother is actually one of my guides. So she was probably present. And you could feel it. And it's literally, and honestly, like, again, Mary Zoomed with us afterwards, and it was afterwards that when your body and your energetic body, your physical body is reacting to the energetic body, and it needs to kind of release and heal. And yeah, you might feel emotions like all of a sudden you just want to bawl and cry, or you might get giggly or something, and that's okay. That you got to let it out. Like that's what's happening is we're letting it out, so that the body can actually come back to being in harmony with itself. That's what disease is. It's dis-ease. It's the body out of alignment with itself. And so it really does start. All of this starts with the energetic body. Everything starts with the energetic body. And so that's where Mary steps in. And it could be like, so if you guys have a client that you're sharing a client for the Reiki and the tarot cards, would the clients be allowed to allow you to discuss certain things about the client that you can both help, that you're both picking up, or how would that work?
I've thought about that. That's kind of a good idea in a sense too, because then Mary can kind of gauge a little bit about, maybe some of the questions in the cards are geared toward maybe their health issues or something like that, or maybe emotional issues. And I can kind of maybe with the client's permission, channel a little bit, even doing a little bit of dowsing on that too would help, in addition to the cards, because I like to also combine some of that sometimes as well. But then she can maybe gauge a little bit. But Mary, I know you did say that the least you know about the person, sometimes the better. Is that correct, though?
Yes. I don't need to know nothing about them. I just like to meet them just to get their energy, so I know what I'm tapping into, because I like a visual before they lay there, you know, and when they're laying down and doing what they got to do and then getting comfortable. And then I will tell them what I got, and we'll talk about it. So it's good not to know anything, because then that helps me to know if I'm feeling.
Yeah, so we'd probably eliminate that then too.
Yeah.
It would be more or less for like discounted prices.
Okay.
So let's say I dropped my price by 15% and Mary dropped her price by 15% due to a bundle deal here. For using both of our services. But again, we're working out the details on that, but we'll definitely be doing bundle deals, and I will be posting that on my website. And Bryce, I'll give you the link to my website so they can go and view that, but it's not going to be up right away. I'm going to be working that out, and then I want to clear it with you, Mary, make sure you're happy with what I have on the website, and go from there.
Okay. Sounds
amazing.
great.
Amazing. So is there anything else you ladies want to add? Anything else that we forgot to talk about regarding Reiki? Or
I'm trying to think. I know we touched on everything I wanted to touch on. I don't know if you all have any questions.
I actually do have something I want to touch on really quickly that Reiki can probably help with this too, but something I've been discussing with a lot of the people I've been doing readings on. I often get the big question, what is my purpose in life, right? Yeah. So one thing I'm noticing is, or I'm feeling blocked. That I often get that. People are feeling blocked. Well, number one, it's all about your soul contract when you decided before you were incarnated, you know, when you're going to activate and all that kind of stuff. So that's number one, have patience with yourself. But if you're feeling blocked too, I want to just kind of like discuss this really quickly and see what your opinions are. It could just mean you have some inner work to do, and you need to face your demons or your fears or whatever you want to call it. Like you have to face traumas. You have to be triggered a little bit. What do you guys think about that?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. That's the whole basis of spiritual practice. You can't, I actually talked about this earlier today in an episode that, today being Wednesday, this is gonna be aired on Thursday. That should have been aired last night on my channel. But yeah, you can't, like, I think one thing people don't understand about spirituality, especially Westerners, and I blame this actually on the bad guys, I think they manipulated this. Spirituality is not about light and love, guys. It's not about light and love. That's at the end. That comes at the very end, because the light is the light of God. The love is the unconditional love of the soul. Spirituality is about the dark night of the soul. It's not, you're not going to walk into a yoga class or like a healing session or something, and it's just going to be butterflies and rainbows all of a sudden. You have to go through the darkness. You have to. And you have to have somebody that's going to guide you, like a teacher or, you know, a healer, or somebody that's going to see your blind spots. You know, it's like, I'll tell you an example for me, where as a Mysore teacher, when I have a student, we have students that will do anything to avoid doing a back bend. Oh, my toe hurts. Oh, my back's sore. And it's like, no, everyone's back sore. Everyone's sore. Why are you avoiding the work? Oh, I got to go to the bathroom. No, you don't. You just went to the bathroom. The best is in Mysore, you see girls all of a sudden have to fix their hair before they're doing a posture they don't want to do. Like all of a sudden they have the need to fix their hair. It's a sweaty Mysore room. Your hair looks like Albert Einstein's hair. It's fine. Just do the damn back bend. You know, like, so we see these, and as healers, you probably see it too, where everyone's got an excuse as to why they're not doing the work, when that excuse is your blockage. Right. When really, but here's the thing that's interesting too. We know with the body, when the body is on the precipice of change, it starts to pull back. Mm-hmm. And that's because the body doesn't know what that change is. It's not familiar. This is unfamiliar territory. And so the body goes, okay, let's pull back. Well, I'm sure the consciousness, the mind does that as well. Oh my God, this is unfamiliar territory. I don't know this. So sometimes people would rather stay in the yucky, depressive state because they know it, instead of taking a chance. Yes,
and a good point, because you just sparked a thought, because there are people who want healing, right? Mm-hmm. But they stop themselves. And then it's like you help them clear this, and all of a sudden they're like, but now I missed it. So they bring it back. because they program themselves. It's like, see, I told you it didn't work. I said, yes, it did. You just brought it back. You just said, okay, I feel great. And then 3 days later, no, my pain's back. Well, what's your thinking? What are you drawing to you? You know, because what you think and say is coming to you. And and I don't like a lot of people that's when they say, I'll believe it when I see it, because that sets yourself up to fail. You're just setting yourself up to fail. You have to get out of your heart and your mind. You got to allow the heart's chakra to come through. You got to allow it in here. If you're asking for healing, you obviously want it. You obviously believe. So get out of your head. You know.
And in order to bring in the good and the positive, you need to rid yourself of all the old junk too.
Yes.
So, and the Reiki, I find is a good way of having a spiritual person come on in and kind of look at, like we're talking about the blind spots. I knew I had certain areas of work. I knew, I was well aware of it, and I've been divining on what those things could possibly be. And what's interesting is, I said to you, what was my text message to you the night before my healing is, I needed you to work on the uterine root chakra area. I'm intuitively getting it. I need you to pay attention to it. And it was weird because that's where you were getting the most out of me.
Right. And
so
I felt bad because you said you were hurting, like it had to come out. It had to come out. I'm really sorry.
I knew it had to. Yes. I saw a lot of junk. Like I had a vision of just something that was, I don't know, it's probably causing a lot of my sluggishness, or maybe even emotional issues. I got a gnat in my room here.
Kill it. Away that's a shapeshifter. Yeah.
Get away from me, shapeshifter. But anyways, it validated that, you know, I was trying to use my intuition to figure out, you know, I've worked in the medical practices for so long, so that there was a little bit of my programming, right? Along with the church in addition to that. So this whole entire year of having, and trust me, I had quite a dark night of the soul for many, many months. I know you ladies know about it, but literally a year and a half of a lot of crying, which I'm not a big crier. I don't cry very easily, but I've had to purge out a lot of stuff. I had to face the things in my life that were holding me back, and I've had to just let it go and let God, you know what I mean? So this was like the tip of the iceberg. Honestly, if I had your healing a year ago, I'd probably be right back to how I felt within days. But because I was able to clear these negative energies out of myself for so long and purge a lot of stuff, and I did a lot of inner work, you know, I feel like it was extremely beneficial. It probably wouldn't have done much for me a year ago. I mean, probably for a couple of days, like you said, that person, but yeah.
Right, because I have a family member that likes to kind of hang on to things, and I try to tell them, let it go. I'll try. No, I am. Because when you say I'll try, that's not happening.
Yeah, you got to speak it into action. You got to positively spellcast, because our words are spellcasting.
It is gone.
I am, and whatever after that is super like important about what you say. You become what you say.
Exactly. You know, and healing, and I've always been into the natural. I've never liked taking drugs. I am not a person that takes a amount of drugs. Ibuprofen might be the worst I take right now, because I've been this way my whole life, and I knew that relying on pharmaceuticals was not the answer.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that people don't take it. I'm just saying, for me, that's what I didn't want.
Yeah.
But I know that there's good things coming, and I know everything's changing, whether they believe it or not. But this is where we're going. We're the healers and we're the psychic mediums and the tarot readers of the world. So, and that's when Bryce does with her channel. It's what you do with your channel. And I'm very grateful you both put me on your show, because I knew I wanted to help people my whole life. Sorry. My emotions come out.
So it makes you beautiful. Those emotions.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't apologize. No.
You're an empath. You're supposed to do this every once in a while.
It's hard when you're live going bawling, baby. But listen, I can also heal animals, and I have healed my cats multiple times. My Emma was ready to die. I sent her liver healing, and I knew she wasn't ready to go, and that was 5 years ago, and her markers all went away. Wow. I knew she's not ready to go. You see how sassy she is? I showed you. She's my
By the way,
Yeah.
Mary's cats are just the most lovable things, and I really wish I lived closer because I'm not. I love like the big cats, like the lions and the jaguars and all of them, right? I've never been a cat person per se because I hate litter boxes, but that's pretty much the only reason. Or they need the dough. You know, they get on your lap and they start kneading you in the claws. I'm more of a dog person. Well, I love all animals, but
I love your dogs. Both your dogs are beautiful.
my puppies are. I have my little diva Abby.
Yeah,
you guys all know her. She gets a really good stink eye.
I love
she
her.
loves to ignore. And then my other one is just a floppy little. He's a jolly little soul.
Bryce's little dog is a beautiful. Oh, I love him too. He's so pretty.
Right.
But your cats, though, it clearly speaks of who you are too, because literally we'll be on a Zoom with Mary, everyone, and the cat's like cradled in her arms, and just, this, like all up in her, like nuzzled in, and I'm just like, oh.
I know, and she's soft like a rabbit, and I'm surprised she's not here more. But my Emma actually walked across the screen, which is shocking because she's never up here, you know.
She made her debut. She wanted to make her debut.
She made her tail debut. She is a diva. As I told everybody, if you put cowboy boots on my Emma, my black cat, she's got that prissy walk. She could line dance. Go click, 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 click. I should videotape her to line dancing. I swear, she's so cute, and she's such a diva.
And they participate in your healing, right? The cats, they participate.
Yes, because one of them was when I was doing you, Bryce. I can't remember. It was one of them. I believe it was. I don't know if it's Shadow Emma, but one of them kept sitting on you, and I kept trying to move. Said, "You're sitting on her." But animals, cats especially, they are healers. Yeah, and they know they are, so they get ticked if you try healing them. Like, no, because they think they got to give you the healing. Mm-hmm. And then when I was doing Stephanie, the opposite cat jumped up there on Stephanie. They laid right on that bed because I set my bed up so I can do the visual. I see a holograph of everybody on the bed. That's how I like to do it. I'll tell you, they're right there. And then my Leo, I have a male cat, Leo. He's a mama boy. I'll tell you that. He's a mama boy.
That's my Ravi's a mama's boy.
Yeah.
My Abby's a mama's girl, and Mick is a mama's boy. They're both mine. You know, they go to me more than anybody else, but I am the one that feeds them and takes them go outside, and you know. Yeah, it's not, you know, the one who feeds them. That's the one they're gonna go to.
Yeah, Robbie I've had them forever. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'll say, but Robbie doesn't like anybody touching me. Like if anybody like hugs me, or he gets upset. He doesn't want anyone touching me. Like no one can touch me. Which we're gonna have to have a little conversation about that, Robbie and I. But
yeah, my cats have been through a lot with me. They're 11 and 12, and they're gonna be 12 and 13 soon. So they've been through a lot with me.
Wow.
They went through a lot of crap with me. So
that's why animals are so special. Like I know that my dog's one of my protectors and one of my guides. Like I know he is. He's my familiar. And I think all of our animals they're soulmates of ours, you know, for different purposes. And I think that a lot of people, especially this timeline we're in, I think people are finding such appreciation for their animals because their animals do so much more than they even realize they're doing.
Right. Yeah. They have a soul. They're just like us. They bleed red. Okay. Yeah. They have every organ we have. They have every emotion we have. We are all connected.
Yes.
We are connected. We're created by the exact same creator here.
And my dog, I mean, the last week, I think it was, maybe it was the week before, 3 to 4 days straight. Seems to always be when I'm on the phone with you, Bryce, whatever the reason that is. She'll literally howl at nothing. And I'm just like looking at her and I'm like, there's something going on. So I channeled her. And she said she was sending me light codes.
Oh. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they are here for this reason, this time period, to really heal us and help us activate. And what's funny is ever since that, you know, those few days where she was doing that, I feel like my channeling has come online even more so.
Right. Animals are healers, and they're conduits. They see and hear and understand a lot more than we do.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'll have to check and see if I still have that video of Robbie, guys. I don't know. It's on my Twitter. If you guys go to the screen, the home page of my YouTube channel, you click on my Twitter, scroll down, you'll find the video of Robbie alerting me to something being in my house that morning. I sent the video to both Mary and Stephanie after it happened. So yeah, they see way more than we see. They are so special. Right. All right, ladies. So I'm going to be placing a link to obviously to Stephanie's channel, of course, and a link to her website for her tarot. Mary, I'm going to put your email address down as well. And Mary's contact will also be on Stephanie's website too, guys. So really, if you're thinking, what do I need to do to help bring myself to this next step forward in my being accountable to my own healing and my own, Mary is a great person to go to. As Stephanie and I both have had work done by her. She's a friend of ours. So we will be placing all those links below. Well, ladies, in the rain or in the sun, I love you.
I love you too, Bryce.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Let me